Hey, what's going on, guys? Potential Final Fantasy fans. I just figured I would film a quick video in my room, good old school fashioned YouTube video, talking about kind of the decline of Final Fantasy. I was just watching a video from another YouTuber, comment and description, and he was making some good points about Final Fantasy, how it really used to be the pinnacle of RPGs and of quality. Um, Again, we're talking over 20 years ago because I remember going to Target and Final Fantasy X was for sale for PS2, and I didn't even have a memory card at that time, so like I had to keep playing the main story like over and over and over again and fighting the sin scales and blah blah blah, leaving like the PS2 on for hours. It was broke. I didn't have a job as a freaking like 12-year-old kid, but holy shit, I'd never seen just graphics and fluid combat and an amazing story of like Titus and Jet, this coming of age, father son narrative. And the Blitzball's pretty fun too. The characters, like I loved the swapping out. It felt like really powerful. Where it's like, okay, this is a flyer. Let's get Waka going. Boom, throw the ball. You're dead. Let's get Arin going because this guy has armor. Let's get our Black Mage Lulu going. Boom, and just to back up a little bit, again, I'm 35 right now, pretty old freaking millennial guy, but I was probably fifth, sixth grade and spent the night over a buddy's house. I had N64 and Super Nintendo. He had PlayStation 1 and Final Fantasy 7. And just like he showed me Knights of the Round, the summon, and was at the end on disc 3 about to fight Sephiroth. I don't think he had beaten him yet, but like, or maybe he did and just wanted to show me beating him again, but just holy shit, I was blown away. And lo and behold, my stepbrother, it was older. He had the 3 discs of Final Fantasy VII, and I was like, "Dude, you have Final Fantasy VII? Like, this game is rad." He's like, "Nah, this game sucks. This game is no good." And I was like, "What are you talking about? Like, it looks insane. Like, let's play." And it kind of does. It takes like an hour and a half, 2 hours, almost get you freaking gripped into that story. Like, if you've never played an RPG before, but grabbed me by the balls. I grabbed my stepbrother. Finally, he understood it. We got Final Fantasy VIII. We got Final Fantasy IX, like I was talking about before, Final Fantasy X. Those games just really fully encapsulated like my middle of the high school years of just being a lot of fun. And sort of 10-2 came out, and I wasn't really personally the biggest fan. It felt rehashed of a lot of going to the areas of 10 again. All the areas of Spira, just trying to find where Titus had gone, which is pretty cool. It still had the turn-based mechanics. It still was fun. The dress spheres were cool. Vagna gun. It still has some pretty neat lore. Some good graphics. Again, the dress spheres, they were pretty neat. But like 12 was really when the cracks started to show for me. 12 just fully abandoned, the turn-based old school mechanic where you really felt in control. I loved like going to a boss and like, okay, we're gonna have our white mage set up shield and protect on everybody. We're gonna dispel the foe. We're gonna do this. Like, I felt like I was playing a chess game, and then it was just like stripped away. Like, oh hey, active time battles, do. 12, and then also the story, the over political concept of it. Vaughn being like a thief again. It's always this like thief type main character. I don't know. Felt overplayed and just over political. It wasn't really my type of game. Story wise, it didn't grab me like how 7 did, or even 8 with like, Ultimacia and the whole twist of like, is Squall dead? 9 with Vivi and like his potential of stopping, of being like a black mage that was created. And Kuja and all that stuff, and 10 again, like the coming of age father story, and then going back and playing 6, it had the opera and like Ultros or whatever, and a massive cast of characters, and even bringing up like Mario RPG. That was arguably one of the first turn-based games I ever played. I used to rent that from Blockbuster, and just Square was freaking a pinnacle of quality. So I spent 4 minutes talking and gushing over Final Fantasy, but 12, the cracks were showing. 13 was they created all this lore and all this stuff for the ILC and Pulse and Cocoon or whatever, and it just really wasn't interesting. The combat wasn't really fun. It took almost 3/4 of the game to really let like the handles off and let the training wheels come off and being able to actually play. I played 10-2 or I'm sorry, 13-2, and that wasn't really fun either. Like, I just resold it to GameStop. And just Nier Automata, if Final Fantasy wanted to go the route of full action based gameplay, Nier is what they should have done. That should have been where Final Fantasy went, because Yoko Taro, or whoever, I think that's the name, the creator of the Nier games, was brilliant by going with this story of, spoiler alert if you haven't played Nier, but like the humans are all dead. There's this narrative that humanity is on the moon and it's up to the robots and androids to fight off the threat of the other robots that are attacking them. But just the combat, having a robot companion, the kind of quirky nature of if you equip this chip, you die. Like, it just had, like, it respected the player. It respected your time. And the weapons were badass. It was fun. 2B was sick. 9S was a great protagonist. I think, I remember the names. They were really good. Like, do you remember the guys from 13? You had, like, the Fro boy. You had Hope, who sucked. they all sucked. You had Vanille. It's like... And then 15, oh boy, you're driving in a car. And they did the remakes of 7. But again, I think they're pretty fun. I had a good time with it, minus going through Gongalga region and the Cosmo Canyon, which was a pain in the ass to navigate. But long story short, like, I can see why they're not selling as well. Just the quality standard, there are also a ton of other games out there now. But, like, what Final Fantasy was known for... they tried to, like, be innovative, I guess, in the early 2000s or whatever with 12 and 13, but, like, was it just to appeal to a wider audience to sell more copies of the game? Or was it because they really wanted to, like, feel that their stories could be better by this type of gameplay, or that they could push gameplay in a better thing? They've always been number one for the graphics, at least as far as, like, 7 and beyond. They were really known for those CGI videos and just... top of the game, and I just feel like they're just not as fun. Like 16, I haven't picked that game up because it seems like you're playing a movie. It's not what I would look for in Final Fantasy. Like, I bought Octopath Traveler 2, and it's a little bit grindy, but I would kill for Final Fantasy to sort of come back in style to an old game, like how 9 was, or something like that, to where, like, they really embrace the old turn based strategy, and just wild sweeping story, great cast of characters, quirky fun, and then also this dark, depressing undertone that just grabs you by the balls and doesn't let go and sticks with you for years, because that's what the old games were about. They just 8, 9, like, again, like I said, how Vivi was worried about him stopping and only potentially living like 1 year or something. It really made you feel for his character and come to terms like, holy shit, like, life and death. And Freya with her people that were destroyed in Burmecia by, like, all that shit happening. 10 with the coming of age with his father, Titus, and his dad becoming Sin, and, like, battling. He wasn't from Spira. He was from a fictional world of a dreamland, and so you really felt attuned to Titus, because you weren't from that world either. Like, you were learning just along with him about how things worked in the land of Spira and what Yuna had to go through. And their love story was just impeccable. Just great story writing. And could you say the same thing about Lightning? Like, who is Lightning? She's like a whiny... It's not whiny. She's like, oh, hey, I'm Lightning. I'm tough. I'm going to poke you. I got to defend my sister because she might turn to crystal. Ooh. Like, there's not these hard-felt narratives. Again, like Noctis. Ooh, Prince of Darkness. Hey, I'm a royal kind of guy, but doop-a-doop-a-doo, who cares? Like, no one gives a shit. 16, hey, I'm Clive, I'm royalty again, I'm like some guy. Fuck, like, no one cares. It's just appealing to everyone, really appeals to nobody. So Final Fantasy needs to go back to, like, their roots of just creating a kick-ass RPG, whether it's turn-based, like, or they can incorporate, how all the different mini-games were. Like, let's have some turn-based battles, let's have some active battles, let's have some freaking 2D beat-em-up. I don't know, like, let's just go wild with it and have an incredible story and just a lot of fun. So I don't know if this resonated with anyone. I just, like, watched this dude's video of Final Fantasy and just kind of wanted to throw my hat in there and be like, yeah, it's like, it used to be a pinnacle of quality for when I was, like, 15 years old. I mean, it sucks. I wish, same with Mega Man, same with a lot of these other franchises that have yet to put out another game since I was freaking in high school, and they just don't seem to understand that these products could make money. It doesn't have to be, hey, this is the top of the line game, and it's like, like, sometimes just making a piece of art isn't always about what the money or the profitability is. It's, that's going to come with creating something that you're proud of and that people are talking about. like everybody was talking about Cloud and Chocobos in the Final Fantasy world and summons and how just beautiful that worked. And I guess it's a different time. You can't just impress people with the graphics like that, but a coming of age story that just blows people away, and like just good fun mechanics and good characters and a good style, like and substance could really go a long way. So I hope Final Fantasy and Square Enix like maybe go back to their roots a little bit, and like I don't know, they don't have to spend freaking fortune making this whole movie of a game. Let's create a fun Final Fantasy game for people to enjoy. So cheers, and hopefully there's plenty more fun and Final Fantasy to come, and at least Dark Souls and those guys are doing the game right. So cheers to From Software and Hidetaki. Let's hope Square and Business Unit number 3. What a stale name that is. Like, so dumb. Like, Business Unit, that's what their thing is called, Business Unit or something. It's corporate, lifeless, just who cares? It's stupid. So anyway, Mind's Eye Game Review. Please like, share, subscribe. I was just staring at my face the whole time. Maybe I'll throw some other pictures in there, but hopefully I'm handsome enough to look at. Whoa. Nah. Have a great day, guys. Happy Sunday. Take care.